Where is my Seogi?
Halo, halo.
Yeah, Yogi.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I did mute. Okay, John, please start to presentation about study at American College, religious studies at American College, and public discourse. Discourse. Yeah. Okay. Please, John.
Okay. You can call me Tucker. That's my middle name. That's what I go by. I'm just gonna introduce myself real quick. I grew up in a place called Greenwich, Connecticut,
Yeah.
which is in Northeast America. I grew up to somewhat religious parents. Church on Christmas, church on Easter. They didn't really push it on me. Therefore, I didn't really become very religious. Um, Going to college, I decided to take a religion course because a couple of my friends were taking it, and it's something that I can talk about. I'm more right side of the brain, more English and history, other than like math and science. I haven't really decided what my major is yet. Like I said, I'm more English, history, media and society maybe. I've taken a number of courses: Shakespeare, anthropology. Um, the ones I do well in, I study hard for them. I figure out good ways to study. The only religious class I've taken so far is Professor Kafrawi's class, um, which I loved. Um, what is the purpose of taking a religious study class? I think religion is important in general. Um, for something that's been around for that long and gives so many people hope and unites people, I think it's important to understand, um, even if you're not very religious like I am. I am an atheist. I don't believe in God. Um, I don't really know what that stems from. It's just what I believe. Why is religion important? Religion is important because it gives people hope. It gives people something to hang on to. In their worst times, in their best times, it's something to grasp onto that, when you can't grasp onto anything else. Um, as a society, I don't know whether it's just in my group of friends or in Northeast America. I think we are becoming more secular. I think throughout the roller coaster that's been the past 60 years of American history, religion has played incredible incredible character, and things are going on. Even in World War II, whether if you want to talk about uniting and dividing, I mean World War II, civil rights movement, women's rights, Vietnam, they all were underlined by religion in some way or another. As a society, we are becoming more secular, and I think people are just, there's no real way that I can sum it up. I think people are just kind of losing hope, losing faith. um, I think people are just not believing that there's a God. I think there's a difference from being spiritual or believing in things than as compared to believing in God or whatever you believe in. I think there's no guy in the sky, making up every mind. There's no scientific um, proof for that. Um, but I think in the 50s, I think that was probably the greatest generation for I think people of the World War II era found it as their civic duty to go to church. I mean, it was just what they knew, it was what their parents knew. Coming over here to a new world, I think people didn't really have a lot to grasp onto. I think religion was very important to people who came here, just as starting a new life. The foundation of America was founded Europeans coming over, and they were religiously oppressed, among other reasons. I think that, talk about uniting and dividing, that was one of the most uniting events in world history. America is this shining hill, this beacon of hope for religious oppression. The 50s was the greatest generation. 60s were kind of stick it to the man, I'm not gonna, conform to the norms of society. I think that's what the first kind of side. I think youths play a big part in religion because they just grasp onto whatever is the rebellious nature of the time, and they stick with it in order to find a purpose. 50s was the greatest generation. 60s was stick it to the man. 70s and 80s was kind of the rise of the evangelicals in American history. This is, this is all going on during the major events, but like Vietnam and wars like that, civil rights movements, things like that. All of those events were underlined by religion in some way or another. To move into the 1990s. In 2000s, I think, I grew up in Northeast America, which is right next to New York City, and I think 9/11 kind of shocked America, religiously, of course. I think 9/11 was a divide that could be measured in people dying, deaths in general. Not domestically. Of course, 9/11 costs over Twin Towers alone cost over probably 3,000 people to die, which is pretty devastating. It was one of the worst catastrophes in American history. Domestically, it caused some divide, prejudice against Islams that were living in America that grew up very passively, and this happens, and they're taking the blame for the 1% of Islamic radicals that are just crazy enough to do something like 9/11. I think 9/11 caused divide internationally more. Obviously with the Iraq War, we're still in the war on terror. We still have troops over there. We're still, that conflict's not over, and new conflicts are popping up, like ISIS and Palestine and Israel. But it did, in a way, kind of unite America. It kind of united them in that in any catastrophe, it brings unification. People gather around and the grief, and they're sad. We were the most vulnerable, and we kind of banded together, and America was on the ropes. And I think, it was kind of a case of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Moving past that, so many things changed after 9/11. Everything changed after 9/11. Homeland Security. Checking in, from Homeland Security to checking at the airport. Everything kind of changed. People were just like, how could this happen to us? Moving past that, I think people, I'm sure it can be argued that people kind of took 9/11, or just like the spiritual people, or just like how, like Christians, because that's what most of America is. We're Christians, and then there are minority religions, rising up. I think that would happen in when in the minority. I think maybe like the 60s, or the 60s is when kind of we start moving from into a Christian-based society. And I think later, after we get comfortable, there's some disagreements, and I think minority religions started to rise up. Yeah, we're mostly Christian. I think people kind of took 9/11 and were just like, how could, what's God's plan here? How could he let us do this? And I mean, if any event in history is going to make you not believe in God, it's probably going to be 9/11. I mean, that's probably not true. There have been worse things in the world, but I mean, 9/11 for America, especially me being from Northeast America, I mean, it was just unbelievable. The place was a ghost town after it happened. I mean, just the horror stories I've heard from what's happening. I mean, everybody you talk to knows somebody that died in 9/11 from where I am, the suburbs of New York City. Yeah, I mean, one of my connection with it was one of my brother's best friend's father was on one of the planes that crashed in, and supposedly he was one of the people to try to stop the hijackers. I mean, we're getting off topic, but I'm just trying to say I think that 9/11 could be why people are moving towards secularism or religious nuns. They just have no affiliation. I think another reason is distractions in society. Technology is evolving. We're evolving as people. We're adapting. The world's spinning. We got to move forward and we got to make advancements. Things like social media. Back. This is a terrible perspective, but back when religion was created, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was nothing to distract people other than God. I mean, believing in something. They used it to take up time. They used it to believe in something, and then it just evolved from there. Religion has been the most constant plague throughout history, with a constant stream of death. There's always death from religion somehow. I mean, if religion wasn't relevant, nobody cared, starting 2 years ago, there'd probably be millions and millions of more people living on Earth right now. I mean, people die every day from religion. I mean, it's crazy that we came up with something as a society that's just pitting people against each other and making them want to kill each other over beliefs, just how they feel. Distractions in society, I also think, is why we're becoming more secular. People. I mean, if shows like the Grammys or the Oscars or big, award shows, if they had a little section dedicated to, the Bible in general, just like a little section, I'm sure more people would be more educated. I just think society nowadays is not based around religion. It's based around public media. Obviously, it's up to intangibles like who you are and what you believe in, but I'm just saying, for the most part, or my generation, I can be an example for my generation. I think people, when it comes down to reading the Bible or reading, Twitter or Facebook statuses, I think they'll probably pick Facebook statuses. I mean, people want to be in the know with relevant things. And the one thing that ancient books don't do is change. I think, like I've said, distractions in everyday society. People are distracted. That's why they're becoming more secular. I mean, I don't want to come up with excuses for them, because anybody can, pick up a Bible and just start reading it. And I think in times of need, that's what you do. But I mean, religion really isn't a vending machine for you to put a quarter in every time you feel sad or you feel like you need to get some hope some way. Religion, if you're going to be a devout religious person, I believe personally that you commit to it and you use it to your advantage. I mean, I kind of chose, I'm not really a product of my generation. I mean, I'm a product of my family. I'm a product of how I grew up. But in terms of being religious, we were just never religious. I mean, I got caught up in distractions. I got caught up in sports and social media for sure. I mean, I think every generation is different, but I think if I were to grow up in the 1950s, who knows? Maybe I would have been more religious. Maybe I would have found something I believed in. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to be religious. I'm just saying I haven't found something that I really feel passionate about. Um, in college, I think my friends, at least, they share the same mindset as me. But then again, we don't really talk about religion that much. I think we don't really. I mean, I was in a religion class, and the only time I talked about religion was in class and doing my homework, writing essays. But I do kind of like thinking about this kind of stuff. I think it's bigger than all of us. I think in order to try to grasp it is a great challenge. Um, yeah, we don't really talk about religion that much in my friend group. We talk about other things like distractions, whatnot. But none of my friends, immediate friends at least, are religious. And I have friends that are all over the board. I have a friend that practiced Judaism, but doesn't really seem to talk about it or care about it that much. He kind of just goes with the flow of his family, and I think that kind of shows you. All I do to be a Christian is celebrate Christmas, and that's really not because I'm religious. It's just because I like Christmas. I mean, I like getting presents. Who doesn't? I have Jewish friends. I have Muslim friends. I have a couple friends that are Muslim. I mean, some of them are more religious than the other, but I mean, for the most part, you don't get an overwhelming feeling that these people are practicing. You know, but I mean, I meet older people. Older people are definitely more religious, but maybe it comes with age. Maybe I'm too young to appreciate it. Maybe not. I'm not there yet. I haven't found it. But maybe with the bobs and weaves of life, maybe I'll need to find it. But I mean, as of now, I don't believe in it. Maybe I'm being spoiled. Maybe I'm being, I don't know. I just don't believe. I don't believe in religion as much as maybe I should. But my parents don't push it on me. My parents don't. They don't make me go to church. We don't pray. We said grace probably 10 times in my life at dinner. 10 of those times were probably at Thanksgiving of some sort, stuff like that. I live in a dorm. I live I'm living in a dorm next year too with one of my best buds whom we have never talked about religion with. We're with each other. American colleges, I mean, I can't really describe it to you guys because there's really, I mean, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like a camp where you guys go to school and you live here. You're matched with a random person and you have to sleep with them for about 4 months. Not with them, in the same room with them. I love it. I'm a freshman. I've had a great first year. I'm done. I'm going home right after this. See my family. Yeah, and my family dynamic is not based around religion. I mean, my grandma is more religious. And like I said, I don't know if my grandma being religious is her being older and being able to appreciate it more and, dealing with, my grandma's an old bird. My grandma's 102 years old, so I mean, she's getting up there in age. Um, I think she's religious because she's gripping life, she's hanging by a thread, and I think it gets easier to believe in religion when you're older because time is, you know time's running out. You know time is getting closer to the end of time. But I don't know if it's the generation she was growing up, and she grew up, she's 102, so she would have been 52 in the 50s. So, oh no, she would have been like, 38. I mean, she grew up she was a part of the 1950s greatest generation. She grew up in that time, which makes sense why she's religious. And I think, like I said, people coming over here came for religious reasons. Europeans came because of religious oppression, among other reasons, of course. But I mean, that was one of the main ones why America is such a melting pot. I mean, we are the most diverse religious country, and I think that a lot of wealthier nations are very religious. Just in the broad spectrum, I think a lot of wealthier nations are not very religious. America is an outlier in that it is very religious. America has an incredible religious diversity. I mean, and if we're following the patterns of religious strife, I mean, we should be having civil wars every other week. I mean, with the amount of religious diversity that America has. Other than that, I mean, that's how I feel about religion. I mean, that's the beginning, middle, and end. I don't know, do we do question and answers here? I don't know what we're doing here. If you guys want to ask me something, by all means, go ahead.
Okay. You can start the question if you would like to start.
Okay. Thank you, John. Interesting about your explain. Okay. John, maybe can only religious people study religion? How about with atheists, John?
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, you're kind of the audio is not very good.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Is okay. Can only religions people study? Yeah. Can only religion people study in religion, John?
Okay. No. Can only religious people study religion in college?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because I mean, for an example, I'm not very religious, but I went into the class with an open mind, and I thought, I think religion, you hear about religion growing up, it's one of the most important facets in life, but I just never was a part of it, and I think I'm not very religious. My friends that were in the class aren't very religious. I think it definitely helps. I think it helps if you're religious because it means more to you. But I don't believe you have to be religious to be in a religious class. I think it definitely helps, though.
Yeah. Okay. Nah. But what your opinion about atheism? Maybe you can to ask about atheist. Atheist is not believe in God.
Once again, I didn't understand that.
Can
you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Okay. John, can you explain to us about atheist? Atheist is not believe in God. Maybe what your opinion about atheist, John?
Atheist?
Yeah. Yogi was asking if you could talk a little bit more about what you understand about atheism.
Yeah, atheism.
In his view, that atheism is believing in no God.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about it a little bit more?
I come in contact with the word atheism just because my brother uses it. I mean, I don't really know the facets of atheism. All I know is his definition of it, which is you don't believe in a physical God. But I can't really say I believe in, the other parts of God. I've I've yet to find something that makes me believe in God.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be like a near-death experience or something like that, I've yet to find something that makes me believe in God. I don't really know what atheism is, though, honestly. I just know that it means that you don't believe in a God, or in any God, and that's my affiliation at this point.
Okay. Maybe John, why is he interest in religion, John? Maybe can you maybe you can choice to study in arts, maybe why to choice in religion, John?
I think college is about trying new stuff. College is about broadening your spectrum of knowledge. And I think religion is so important that it's something that you should definitely invest time into because it definitely helps people. I think I do take art classes. I'm taking an art class next semester. I love art classes. I'm taking history classes. I mean, all of everything. They're not going to teach a course in college that's not interesting or pertains to life. So I think any subject in college, unless it's like, something crazy like Russian literature or something, stuff like that, that's, very specific. I think you can never go wrong with a religious course because it will teach you so much. And it's stuff that you can talk about, stuff that people care about, stuff that you can talk to, adults like, me, I'm, turning you. I mean, we're turning into adults. We need to be able to intellectually talk about real topics with people. And I think the religion can definitely be a gateway into understanding someone, and being able to talk about it is very important, and knowing a lot about it is very important. So I took religion on as a challenge, even though I'm not very religious. But I came in with an open mind, and I've learned a lot. Professor Krafari is a great teacher. So I mean, it helps when you have a teacher like that. But for the most part, I think, what am I trying to say here? I think religion is a very important topic, and I took it because I wanted to be able to talk about it intellectually.
Okay. Maybe John, what can I do with a certificate in religion studies, John? How about in your career, John, in religious studies?
Ulangi lagi, Gi.
Yeah,
What's the
okay.
question?
What can I do with a certificate in religious studies, John? Maybe you
Really
how about
question.
in career gitu.
Thank you, Yogi. That is very good
Yeah.
question. What can we
You're
do
welcome.
to graduate
Yeah,
with
what
the
can I do?
religious studies?
That is a great question. You can do whatever you want. I mean, let me just say, first of all, it doesn't really. I don't believe it matters really what you major in college, because I think you never know what opportunities come across your plate that's going to make you happy, and that's really what life's all about: finding something that makes you happy. Religion makes you happy, and that's what you're set to do, and you majored in it, and you found a good job. I say go for it. Do something in religious studies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you're like and study religious, John, yeah.
Yeah. But I do think that, like I said, religion is kind of like investing in a an iPod Nano. I mean, I think it is kind of becoming more secular, especially. But I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for you, but I'm saying where I'm from, I think it's kind of a dying industry. I think it's going to be around forever. I just don't think. I think we've reached a point where it's at an all-time low in terms of passion. So I think maybe that means there'll be more jobs open, but I think that I think there's a lot to do with a religious certificate because it means that you believe in something. I mean, it doesn't mean you believe in something. It means that you're intellectual when it comes to that facet of life. And I think it's a very important facet of life. So I think it's a good certificate to have. I mean, I couldn't give you a specific job in religion. I wouldn't even know what that means. Like, I mean, other than a religious professor, obviously, but I wouldn't even know what that means. Honestly.
What about Ipang? Is Ipang ready to ask question?
Yeah. Anyone?
I feel I not yet a question. I will think about it.
Okay. Maybe what's your family opinion about when choose to religious studies? What is your family respond about your choose religious studies, John?
I don't even know. I don't even think they know I took it, honestly. That's not. I mean, they know I'm taking it, but they didn't really think twice about it. All my parents care about is that I get good grades. Well, I think if I do well in it, I think they'll be happy with it. But it wasn't really like you're taking religion. Like what? Like I think it was. They know I like to talk about intellectual stuff, and then they know I am very opinionated. So a class like religion would make sense for me. I like talking. I mean, obviously I like talking. I mean, I'm talking to you guys for the past 45 minutes. But I don't think they really. It wasn't something that caused any dilemma. I think they kind of were just like. I mean, it's not really. I'm not really learning about. It wasn't really learning about Christianity, so maybe they would have been more excited about it if I was learning more about Christianity. We talked about Christianity, obviously, but it was more talking about other important topics. So yeah, they didn't really have a response. It was kind of just like, get good grades. Any way you can. And if you learn something along the way, that's even better.
Okay, thank you, John. Your answer. Maybe di sini in here Pak Dimas. Any question, Pak Dimas? Okay. Yeah, Mas Muhammad. Any question? Okay, nothing. Okay. Maybe John is many young people usually for freedom in life in life in life yeah. Why is your young in your life why in choose religious John is why your how about is socialize in your friend in Muslim and religious other religious John okay, maybe
What do you say? Talking about. I know you said something about my friend. My
okay.
friend.
Yeah. What's your socialize?
You express better.
Yeah. What's your socialize in your life in friend in Muslim in many more religious John.
So how do I interact with my religious friends or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about your friends, Muslim friends, Christian friends.
Muslim.
How you talk with them on religious issues? How do you socialize with them? From Muslims and non-Muslims alike.
Right. Well, okay. I didn't, but I mean, let me just first of all say I didn't, become friends with these people because they were Muslim or because they were, Jewish or because they were Christian. I kind of found common interests with them, inside jokes, being whether they're friendly or not. You just become friends with people. You don't really care about that kind of stuff. And I think when you agree on stuff, it doesn't really make for a give and take relationship. I think when you guys butt head to head on religious issues, I think that's what creates interesting relationships. But I don't really talk, like me, they're a product of their generation. I think we don't really talk about religious issues, and when we do, we don't like really care enough to challenge each other because we just don't know that much about it. I mean, these are my friends. I mean, we're not very religious people. I know, some things about Christianity, but not enough to defend it to somebody. And I wouldn't even, if somebody came up to me, punched me in the face, and were just like, Christianity's stupid, I'd probably punch them back, but it wouldn't be because they said Christianity's stupid, it's because they punched me in the face, I'm not really religious, and none of my friends, I just don't care enough to defend a religion because I'm not affiliated with one. So I'm interested to hear what people have to say, and I'm interested to hear the opinions. But usually when we interact about religious issues, it's them telling me about stuff and me questioning them.
Okay, Mr. John.
Oke,
Is it fine?
ini ya, Muhammad, ya silakan.
Do you have study about introduce to Islam?
Our course talked somewhat about it, but I haven't really gone into a specific class about it.
What do you think about Islam?
What do I think about it? Well, it's very. It's very. It's layered. It's very complex. There's a lot more, I feel, in Islam to do if you're an Islamic person than, say, if you're a Christian person. I think there's just a lot more commitments to make. That's what I get from it. Like the trip to Mecca or the 5 pillars, and I might be completely wrong here. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I wouldn't really be able to give you an intellectual opinion on it yet because I don't know that much about it. Yeah, I don't have that much to say about it because I don't want to be wrong, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be wrong. I don't know much about it. I don't know enough about it in order to give an intellectual answer.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, I'm sorry.
If you would like to talk about something else at college life that drove Tucker to take one of the religious studies courses, for example, you are welcome to do it. For your information, at Hobart and William Smith colleges, we have what is called general education curriculum, and all students who are graduating from the school have to take some courses from 8 different categories. And the class that Tucker is taking in religious studies can fulfill one of those 8 categories. But there are also some other courses. Maybe Tucker, you can talk about it, about the other classes that you can take to fulfill the 8 goals.
Well, you can take. I know you have to take a math course. You have to take a something in gender. You have to take a writing course, which I took for my FSEM. What are the other? I wouldn't even know. What are the other goals?
Quantitative reasoning, qualitative reasoning.
Quantitative reasoning. Okay. What is the one that
equality?
Yeah, quality. I said that. What is the one that religious studies, quantitative reasoning,
Ultimate questions.
ultimate questions,
Ethical judgment.
ethical judgment? Right. I'd like to know who sat down and created the 8 goals. I mean, how did they decide that those 8 were the encompassing what they want people to be when they leave the college? But that's what make Hobart so unique in that we have goals instead of other ways of education.
Other questions, guys? Yanwar, are you on? Hello?
Okay. Yanwar is not on. Maybe Pak Sola.
Okay.
Any question, Pak Dimas?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Okay. John, maybe to explain how many students are there at your school, John? How many students, John?
Yeah, what are we, about 30 now? 3,400? No, less.
Maybe 2,600.
3,600?
20.
26?
60.
Yeah, we're about 2,600 kids. 2,600. So I mean, we're very close knit. I mean, you if you go out and party, you will see those people again. I mean, but at the same time, other side of the coin, I've been here for a year, and I still have not met everybody in the class. I probably met not even 2/4, like maybe half, if that. So there's always opportunities to meet new people, which is very important in college. Constantly making relationships, constantly networking. But college is really about how you fill your time. I mean, you could fill your time drinking and not get anything done, or you could fill your time kind of, taking advantage of the college lifestyle, being in clubs. See, I play club lacrosse, and I'm in an improv club, and both of those freshmen started, and I took initiative and made those clubs. So it's really taking advantage of college. You're with people that excuse me. You're with a lot of people who are just like you, and you live here. So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of free time. So I mean, this is college in general, really. I mean, Hobart specifically, the kids we draw here are some can be very rich and snooty, and but others can be very genuine and kind of like just. We have people from all over the place, is what I'm trying to say. We have people from everywhere. So I mean, you're going to find people that you relate with, no matter what. But it's kind of relating to the general people that you worry about. But I mean, Hobart's a lot of fun, and I think the fact that it's so small and there's not a lot of people, as opposed to like a bigger university like University of Michigan or University of Georgia, Virginia, big places like that. You see people, but I feel like you don't really get a chance to know them. I think Hobart, you really get to build intricate relationships with people because you see them a lot. We actually have a very spread out campus, but when you're a freshman, you're right next door. You're like dorms are just right next door to each other, really. So I mean, I'm interested to see what sophomore interactions are like because I guess I'm officially a sophomore now. But I'm sure it's going to be much different from freshman year, just because you're not a freshman anymore. You get more respect.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see. It's going to be it's exciting.
Thank you, John. Your answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe what is the best major in your school, John?
The best
Major.
major.
Major, sorry, major.
That's an interesting question. One that I couldn't really give you a good answer to, just because I haven't really been exploring those fields yet. But if I were to give you, the layman's answer, I would say something that makes you, anything that you're interested in. Also, something that gives you opportunities to go abroad to places that you wouldn't be able to go to if you didn't take that major. So, I mean, the best major is what you want the best major to be, how you use it, what field you want to go into in life. I think the best major comes down to what makes you happy, and I think also the opportunities it gives you. And I think
Next,
I think I have heard that econ. We're known for our econ kind of major. That's a very, very good one.
Economics.
Economics, yeah, economics.
okay.
Okay, hello,
Maybe.
Mr.
Okay.
I'm not going to major.
Okay. Maybe ini Mas Irfan. Any question, Mas Irfan?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Please. Okay.
Okay, Indonesian law state that the official religion embraced by the citizens of Indonesia there is Islam, Protestant, Hindu, and other. How about religion in American? Any religion present there?
Religious diversity.
Are there specific religions? Does the state regulate any religion that can exist?
No, I don't think they do. I think we're freedom of religion. That's in the Constitution. That's like I think that's the First Amendment.
Yeah,
that's in the First Amendment. I think that's what America is built on: freedom of religion. In terms of
so anyone can observe any religion.
Yeah.
How many religions are there? Hundreds.
Yeah, a lot of religions. I think religious diversity is we're very religiously diverse due to the fact that we're freedom of religion. So that opens doors for a lot of conflicts. We have conflicts every day religious wise, but this smaller scale stuff as opposed to big riots, stuff like that. Yeah, we're very religiously diverse. It also depends where you are, like where you live. So more affluent areas, I don't mean to stereotype, but they're kind of more. My friend who's from Scarsdale, New York, is Jewish, and a lot of the people from his town are also Jewish. So I don't know. I'm not saying they really band together, but I'm saying they kind of end up places because of their religious affiliation. But that doesn't put boundaries on anything. People can live wherever they want, obviously. But I'm just saying sometimes you'll see little niches and notches of religion staying together in a city or a town or a little development.
So if I may clarify further the comment of Takar in comparison to the religious life in Indonesia, we have Christianity, two branches of Christianity, Protestantism and Catholicism. We have Hinduism, we have Buddhism, we have Islam, and that's no more than that. We have a few others, but in the United States, we have different branches of Christianity alone. Protestant traditions have different branches, and they are Americans are free to choose any of those religious traditions. Okay, any other question, guys?
Okay. Okay. Me. Okay. John. Maybe. Are there religious students at the college? What religion do they observe, John?
When a religious student is at my college, what do they do? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are there religious
Uh,
students at colleges?
Are there religious students at the college?
What religions do they follow?
I would say 100% there are religious students at our colleges. It's kind of not my crowd though. I'm not saying that I wouldn't befriend a religious person. I just haven't met one that's very religious in a specific way. There definitely are very religious people here, but maybe for whatever reason they don't feel it necessary to make it known. But I do have friends that one of my closest friends here is a devout Christian who goes to church every Sunday back home, and we talk about that kind of stuff. We talk about I asked him. I think it was last week. We're sitting outside and it was late. We got back from studying, and I kind of asked him, "Do you believe in God?" And he told me that he didn't believe in God in the physical sense. He believed that, like, the moral sense, like, do unto others what treat others how you want to be treated, like stuff like that. What goes around comes around. Just be good in the eyes of God, and you'll be rewarded in the afterlife. He believes in the afterlife. I remember that. So there are religious people here. You just kind of got to seek them out, and if you want to find them, you got to kind of seek them out, because I don't think they really make their presence known as much as they want to or should.
Okay, Mr. John, what majority or minorities in your college?
I'm not really sure, because minorities. I mean, I don't really know a lot of people who are Christian, which is like the main religion here. So I would know even less about the minority religions. But I'm sure you have your fair share of Islamic, Muslim. I don't know if you consider Jewish a minority because it's pretty big, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are people from all over the religious spectrum, but I just wouldn't know.
Okay, how their relationship to friends of different religion?
Um, I've kind of touched on this before. It doesn't really make a difference. Like I said, for me, I'm not very religious, so I don't have an affiliation really. I mean, you can call me a Christian. My mother's Episcopalian, but I mean, I'm a Christian if I was going to be any religious affiliation, because that's how I was brought up. I went to church. I went to CCD. Which is like religious classes every Wednesday when you're growing up. So I wouldn't really be able to. I wouldn't want to back religion. I mean, Christianity. If somebody challenged me, because I just don't care enough. I don't. I mean, like I said, I haven't found something that makes me believe in God yet. That's a definite possibility, but in terms of interacting with my religious friends, it's kind of just inquiring about what they think about religion, and kind of me trying to poke at different facets of knowledge in terms of religion, rather than trying to butt heads with them and defend my own religion, because I don't have.
Okay, I want to know how their attitude when they disagree religion issue. But I know the American people are very tolerant toward religion. Can you tell me?
Yeah, I mean, people are very tolerant towards religion in America. So, I mean, a lot of people adopt the mindset like mine that, like, well, I mean, hopefully, except for, very radical and aggressive people, I mean, they don't come, I mean, they can agree to disagree. They can be tolerant, which is what I'm trying to say. I haven't really come to a disagreement with somebody on a religious topic because, like I said, I don't really care enough in order to, get worked up about something that I don't believe in. So if they, challenge me for being an atheist, I mean, that's just what I believe in. I mean, I don't challenge them. I mean, I would never challenge them for what they believe in because they obviously have their reasons for believing it. So I mean, I don't really disagree with somebody over religion.
Okay, let me give you a heads up. Tucker has to go in 2 minutes, so if you have any other question, one question should do the 2 minutes.
No, nothing.
Yogi,
Nothing.
your last question, if you have one.
Okay. Maybe John. What would you like to major and minor? What course are you going to take?
Again, about the major and minor.
Yeah,
That's challenging question to Tucker because he needs to make up his mind.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, next semester I'm taking a feminism course, which a lot like religion is going to be very challenging. I'm taking 2 history classes just to see if history is the direction that I want to head into, and then I'm taking I forgot the other course I'm taking, but yeah, I'm definitely taking a feminism and taking a 2 history classes. One's about early America. The other one's about the Enlightenment period, which I kind of already know about, and so hopefully, like I said, I mean, college for me is getting good grades right now, so and learning something in the process. So major and minor, I definitely, I mean, obviously I want to major and minor in something, if not double major. I mean, those are always the goal. It's just what you're going to do about it to make it happen. So I'm going to have to figure it out soon, but as of right now, I'm kind of trying to weed out what I don't want to do, but before I find out what I do want to do.
Fair enough. Okay, I think Tucker has to go right now. It's 11 o'clock. His head is
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all the questions, you guys. It was very interesting, and I'm glad we had this conversation.
Thank you all.
You are welcome, John. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Please, Mas Irfan.
Okay. My last question. Okay.
I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. You can do one more.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I am very serious about this question. When the American people hear about the word of jihad, they are very afraid of it. What's your opinion about the jihad?
What's my opinion about jihad? I don't really have one. I'm kind of indifferent about it, honestly. I know it's there, and but I don't really understand. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't really give me a reason to be scared. But I mean, as of right now, it doesn't give me a reason to be scared. But I just don't like Islam, the question about Islam. I don't know enough to give an educated answer about.
Well, Irfan, I think that is very good question.
I think
Perhaps we can create a forum to talk about the understanding about jihad. But at this moment, in history, in American history especially, the word jihad is associated with the violent Muslim understanding of jihad. And so yes, jihad is very frightening concept. But you know, in America we also have a movement, My Jihad, for example, that aims at portraying jihad from within Muslim perspective. That means it is my own struggle to become better people, how to improve myself, how to improve my community, etc., etc. But at this point, this is a very good topic to discuss, and we have no time to talk about it, and we'll talk about it some other time. Okay, Fat? Again, thank you so much, Tucker, for sharing your ideas with us, and thank you everyone for joining the conversation and for your participation, for your question, etc. And we'll talk again some other time. Bye now.
Thank you,
Good
Tefon.
night.
Take
Good
care.
day. Good morning. Bye.
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 Bye. To.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.